Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we're going to go on and talk about tonight. But first, before we go in and get into that, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button as well, if you have not already. Also, if you have not hit the share button, share it with all the people that you know. Share it with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, even people you don't even like. Go on and share it to them so they can go on and be a part of the group that we are in over here on the South Carolina Weather Channel. That's number one of what we talk about. Number two, let's go on and talk about what are we going to talk about for tonight. Well, obviously, number one, we will obviously talk about the weather, what's going on currently. We're going to talk about the weather, obviously, for tonight, tomorrow, short-term future, long-term future, and we're going to talk about the weather as we go throughout the week. That being, obviously, number one, being how as we go into, especially this weekend, we're going to have a cold front that tries to move its way through. We're going to have some dense fog tonight, unseasonably warm temperatures Friday going into Saturday. Mostly dry conditions Friday going into Saturday. Cold front Saturday into Sunday. And then also that cooler, dry air mass as we go from Sunday night onward into the next week. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go straight over into the radar. And right now you can see absolutely nothing is ongoing right now throughout the entire state. Absolutely nothing. Looks like right now that we just have just some dry conditions. But if we scroll our way out, see what's going on right now throughout the entire U.S., we do in fact have some rainfall / snowfall going on. Rainfall going on over here near Chicago, over inside of Missouri. Also some rainfall going on over from Detroit into Ohio to West Virginia. And then maybe even some rainfall and some snowfall on the backside, Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan as well. Snowfall going on over inside of the Rockies. And then maybe even some rainfall all the way down inside of New Mexico and southern Arizona near Tucson, Arizona. Now, if we go into our cloud cover, for the most part, mostly cloudy right now. And in fact, I believe everybody probably is seeing at least some clouds in the sky at this point. But I believe everyone right now probably is definitely cloudy right now. Now, in terms of your cloud cover for the future, we go ahead and push this forward. And you can see that cloud cover, for the most part, will stay. I mean, if you go to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, going all the way into around 9 o'clock in the morning, you're starting to see some clearing in the eastern part. But for the most part, clouds still remain even through 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., all the way through to 11 p.m. To 12 o'clock in the morning. Cloud cover will still definitely be here. But, like I said, we will have some clear spots. We continue going into Saturday now, so Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, still cloudy. This is the day where we're going to begin to see that cold front and that amount of rainfall trying to move its way through. Now, what about our current temperatures right now? Current temperatures right now are around a good 61 in Orangeburg, 58 in Somerville, as well as 59 in Charleston, 59 Beaufort, as well as Hilton Head Island, 60 in Aiken, and 55 in Georgetown, 56 in Murrells Inland, and 52 in Conway. We also do have around a good 55 in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, 56 in Florence, and 60 in Sumter, 56 also inside of Hartsville and Lancaster, 54 in Bennettsville, and 59 in Columbia, 58 Newbury, and 59 in Lawrence and Greenwood and Anderson, 57 in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Gaffney, as well as 56 in York. Now, for your low temperatures for tonight, you have around a good 52 in Greenville and Spartanburg, as well as a good 51 in Rock Hill, 49 in Cheraw, and 50 in Dillon, 52 in Florence, and 51 in Camden, 54 also inside of Columbia, and 53 in Newbury, 55 in Greenwood, and 55 in Anderson, 56 in Aiken, and 54 inside of Barnwell, 55 in Orangeburg, and 55 down there in Walterboro, 57 Hilton Head Island, Charleston, and 53 Georgetown and Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for today, you have around a good 64 in Greenville, 64 in Spartanburg, as well as 64 in Anderson, 66 inside of Greenwood, and 66 also inside of Newbury, 65 inside of Winsboro, and even 69 in Columbia, 68 in Camden, 67 in Aiken, 69 also inside of Barnwell and Orangeburg, as well as Sumter, and 68 inside of Florence, 67 in Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, Charleston. Rainfall for the day as we go into tonight, going into tomorrow. 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch definitely is possible from Anderson over into Greenville, over into Spartanburg, and then somebody might even get a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch just to more to the north and west, and somebody even further to the north and west along that border of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, could potentially get a quarter of an inch to a half an inch of rainfall as we go throughout the next 24 hours. Now, what about the crazy score? We're at a 28 for tonight. Again, this is for tonight, not for tomorrow. This is just for tonight. We're at a 28. Why are we at a 28? Well, pretty simple. Dense fog tonight. Obviously, that being one of the main concerns. Widespread patchy to dense fog developing after midnight. Then, as we continue, you'll see those visibilities a quarter of a mile or less in spots. And then some of it will also, like I said, be locally dense. The potential for a dense fog advisory or a special weather statement, especially the southeast/coastal areas, for the Charleston area over into the Wilmington, National Weather Service areas. And even the Columbia National Weather Service area. Says a concern for fog definitely is there, but inside the upstate, the National Weather Service of the Greenville-Spartanburg area has not really said too much about it because of the lower risk up there. Now, in terms of winds are going to be calm, obviously, and seasonably mild, 10 to 15 degrees above normal for our temperatures tonight, and that creates that ideal fog formation setup. Mostly cloudy, transitioning to fog, and then we're going to be completely dry for tonight, no precipitation, and that's why we're all the way at that 28. And so we'll see this fog not only for tonight. I mean, we've seen fog for the past couple of days, but we'll see that again tonight, and we'll see it again tomorrow night as well, going into Saturday morning. So we're going to see fog again as we go throughout tonight, and then also tomorrow night, going to Saturday morning. SPC outlook for today, thunderstorms are not expected. Tomorrow, thunderstorms are possible inside of the upstate. Yes, not severe, but, you never can rule out any gusty winds, any small hail with any sort of thunderstorm. So make sure that you're watching for that. And then day 3 for Saturday, January the 10th, shows a marginal risk of severe weather. That's why we had the green screen up, the green starting soon screen up, because we have a marginal risk of severe weather up there inside of the upstate going into the northern Midlands as well. Now, probably the main threat most likely is going to be that probably going to be that wind, maybe some hail as well, but for the most part I think that wind damaging wind risk is definitely possible as we go on all the way into going all the way into that Saturday here. And it will continue to push off to the east. Now, how far will it make it? It's a great question. But I was saying that, there was that chance for that severe weather. I said, severe weather might not be all there. And that's why it's a marginal risk right now, just because the confidence right now is low. And, you have the moisture, you have the wind with it, the Cape, like we saw, we slowly started to see the Cape kind of climb up a little bit. But for right now, it looks like that, again, just too uncertain right now. Still too uncertain. We'll see how it develops, though. Excessive rainfall for tomorrow. This is for tomorrow from around 9 a.m.-ish on Friday, going into 9 a.m. on Saturday. Isolated flash flooding is in the forecast up here for this area up here inside of the upstate. Walhalla, Westminster, Seneca, Salem, Pickens, 6 Mile, all of these areas over here inside of South Carolina has a chance for some isolated flash flooding. And we are not done as we get into day 3. This is Saturday, going into Sunday morning. Isolated flash flooding possible from Landrum all the way down towards Travelers Rest, Greenville, Simpsonville, Piedmont, Williamston, Belton, Anderson, Clemson, Central, Seneca, all of these areas that we were just talking about all has a chance for some isolated flash flooding as you go into Saturday, going into Sunday. But that's pretty much all in terms of excessive rainfall. Anything past that, just way, number one, way too far out. And number two, there's just no threat there for now. So let's go and look at the models. We're going to start off here at the 9 o'clock p.m. time frame. Let's go in and see what the models have to say here. You go in and push this forward all the way through the night tonight, and you can see some activity going on, but I think that most likely has to do with that fog activity. That fog activity is going to cause, a little mist to potentially happen. And, when you get fog, you have, obviously, it's full pretty much of moisture, so it's going to probably show as rainfall on the map, even though it might not actually be that rainfall. So that's what we're looking at there, 7 a.m. Now, we may see an actual shower up there inside of the very far upstate there. I see around like a good 6 o'clock in the morning all the way to 8 o'clock in the morning. Rainfall trying to move its way up there. That continues through. Then we get dry conditions all throughout the day for the most part until we get to around 4 to 5 p.m. Starting to see some isolated showers start to go up there inside the upstate, but nothing too crazy. Then we get to 6 o'clock p.m., moving on into 7 o'clock p.m. And then we still have that rainfall activity over there inside of the upstate, but it still has not quite made its way in completely yet. Then we get to 9 o'clock when I go live for our Friday evening forecast update, and we have some rainfall moving in there. And that rainfall you're going to watch as it sits up there inside of the upstate. That's not what I meant to do. This is what I meant to do. There we go. But you can see rainfall trying to move its way into the Midlands a little bit more. And then you continue out all the way to 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and you just continue to see that rainfall over the area, going all the way, and then there goes that line right there. That line of potential strong to severe storms as it goes all the way to 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and then by around like 6 p.m. going into 7 p.m., it kind of just fizzles out. But you can definitely see that main line right here of showers and storms and potentially severe in some case. Now, what about our long-term future? We're going to start off here, 7 p.m., January the 10th, at the 54-hour mark. You indeed do have some cold air trying to move its way through, all the way through January the 11th. And then that, because this is obviously a cold front, that cold front will move through. We'll get some cooler, some drier conditions. You can see January the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, just staying dry. And so not only will that be the case, but also we're going to have to, talk about that in terms of the drought, which we are talking about the drought right now, in about like 5 to 10 minutes or so. So if you have not voted yet inside the drought poll, go on and do so, because we're about to reveal the answer in about 5-ish minutes or so. But there goes our second little system here. It tries to move its way through. It looks more of like a more drier definitely than the other one, potentially. Or at least it looked that way. If we go into yesterday, you can definitely see the difference in the fact that it showed like barely any type of precipitation as that cold front moved its way through on the 15th. But now this is what it looks like now, as you have, there we go. As you now just have a lot more moisture trying to form it. Maybe some snowfall 180 hours out. Take it with a grain of salt. But then that brings up some more cooler temperatures. That brings up some more freezing temperatures potentially as well. We'll talk about the temperatures in just a minute. Going all the way through January the 18th, the 19th. You have some more rainfall behind it. Kind of shows a little bit of a zonal flow setup here to where you kind of have the more cooler and unsettled weather more in the north. And then you have the more warmer weather down here. But then after a while, we have another little low pressure trying to move its way through. And this is the one that we were talking about yesterday. It could potentially bring us a good amount of rainfall. This is on the 21st, and it's still consistent. It's still here. So something definitely to watch for, as we might have some Gulf moisture trying to move its way through, going all the way throughout the state. So that's, an interesting date. I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again. If you have anything planned, January the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, definitely watch the weather. Definitely going to have to be something you're going to have to watch out for. And then past that, it's just still way too far out. But I am seeing this little zonal flow set up to where it has like the cooler air on the north, warmer air on the south. Now, what about our dew points? That just pretty much just shows us what our dry air, moist air is looking like. all the way January the 10th, January the 11th. Look at all this dry air moving its way through, all the way into the 12th, the 13th, trying to get into the 15th as well. But then there goes our second cold front right here on the 15th and the 16th. And then another one on the 19th going into the 20th and the 21st. But, like I said, that area of precipitation from the Gulf, that one could potentially bring us some more moisture as well. You can see that warm air mass from it moving its way through. And then another cold front might try to develop, but like I said, that zonal flow setup is still pretty strong. Even if we go into the thermodynamics as well, go and look at the temperature anomalies. That first cold front pushes through, brings in some cooler weather. We start to get a little bit warmer as we go into around like the 14th-ish, going into around the 15th. I mean, these are temperatures, not too crazy above average. Like, I mean, temperatures only near like 58, 59. But that is above average for that time of year, for this time of year. We get a bit cooler as that second cold front on the 15th comes along, but we'll switch right back to warmer. We get around like the 20th and the 21st. And then we continue just to see warmer temperatures try to take over. So like I said, it's going to keep on flipping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth as cold fronts try to continue to move its way throughout the state as we go throughout the early part of January all the way out towards the middle part of January. But that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of the long-term future. Make sure you're watching out for these freezing temperatures as well as we go around like January the 19th, or not the 19th, the 12th here. Maybe going into the 13th as well. And, possibly the 16th. And then after that, like I said, maybe the 20th, the 21st. But definitely going to be some days that we're going to have some freezing temperatures, especially Sunday night going into Monday. I mean, we're going to see temperatures down in the 20s as we go into Sunday night and Monday night. So make sure that you're prepared for that, for those freezing temperatures. Let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, we have the first chat tonight. First chat tonight was from Mr. Chris. He says, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for asking. Maya Lula then comes in and says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Miss Tolliver says, good evening, everyone. Very foggy start at my house. Things brightened up once Mr. Sunshine appeared. I hope that your semester is off to a great start. It is. Thank you so much for asking. But yes, I mean, the fog, I do want to go and talk about that. I said it this morning, so if you watched this morning's update, you probably know what I said, and how I said that, the fog wasn't supposed to get, that bad. It was not supposed to be anything too dense, but then it stayed, and so they actually had to extend it for a longer period of time. The dense fog advisory is only set for around 8 to around like 8:30 in the morning, but then they had to extend it all the way like to 10 o'clock. I mean, it was foggy out there till like 11 o'clock in the morning, at least where I was, when I was looking outside. It was foggy all the way to like 11 o'clock in the morning. So that was a bit unusual to see, but the setup was there, and so that's just what happened. I mean, I'm seeing pictures all throughout, like the downtown Charleston area of streets completely covered with fog. I'm looking at pictures of people on bridges going on, showing that they can't even see another side of the bridge. It's just crazy with some of the pictures that I saw. If you, want to go in and look up the picture, you probably can. Or even if you look at the news this morning, it may have shown it as well. Then my Aunt Lewis says, I pray everyone had a wonderful day today. I did. Thank you so much for that. Continuing our way through, Mr. Chris says current temperature here in Moncks Corner is around 57. Right now in my house it's around 57 as well. My older one says 57. What does my newer one say? It says also around 57. So, yeah, we're around the same. We are definitely around the same. We continue back. It says... my Aunt Lewis says, today in Georgetown, we had a beautiful day with temperatures up in the upper 70s. Thank you so much for that weather update over there in Georgetown. Miss Tolliver says, my mom said that Chattanooga is going to get a bit of rain tomorrow. What does your radar say, Jessica? Well, right now, they're not receiving any sort of rainfall right now, but I will go on and update that once we talk about the entire U.S., because there's a severe weather threat brewing for not only for over there in Tennessee, but also down So like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. We'll talk about all of that. But we talked about it last night. But I'll go on and talk about that. Mr. Chris says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. It's free and it helps the channel grow. He's absolutely correct. Right now we have around a good 11 people watching so far. And only around like a good 6 likes. If you're a part of that 5 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Mr. Anthony said, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Maya Lewis says, today we had a lot of fog early in the morning. Mr. Chris says, same here. Not looking forward to this cold weather coming. Well, fortunately, we're going to have to go through it, but it is winter nonetheless, so nothing too shocking. Maya Lewis says, today I'm not either beginning to love this nice warmer weather we're having. Thank you for informing us right now Thank you for informing us of the right now temperature because I seldom get the opportunity to watch the weather report at night. Well, I decided, to go on and add that, and, I had to do some updates with it, but, obviously live temperatures are almost just as important as, low temperatures, high temperatures, stuff like that, because a lot of people want to know what it's like outside right now. And then Mr. Chris says, don't forget if you drive and use your low beam headlights, if you have fog lights, please use them. He's absolutely correct. Do not use high beam lights. Do not use high beam lights at all. That is not something you should be using during fog activity. You should be using low beam headlights, and if you have fog lights, you should also use those as well. Also, like I said, at nighttime, especially if there is that fog, if there is that fog going on at nighttime, you might want to, like I said, try and use your high beam lights, especially since sometimes you do, especially if you're in like a poorly lit area. You're supposed to use your fog lights when it's foggy out, and then you're supposed to use your high beams when it's not foggy out. So do not use your fog lights as well for your high beam lights, by the way. That's not really a good idea either. And then he said, just want everyone to be safe. I do thank you for that. And then Trail says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you as well. And I think that is all that I see here in terms of the chat. So let's go on and talk about the drought. And then we'll go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. So right now, people have voted. 83%. Well, actually, before I even get into the results, let's go on and say what the drought monitor is, just in case we have somebody new here. If you have no idea what the drought monitor predictions is, it is a prediction that we see what the National Weather Service, or what the U.S. Drought Monitor people have for our drought conditions inside the state of South Carolina. And so every week on Thursday, we take a guess and we see what's going on, what's happening in terms of the drought. We have like a little game out of it. And so right now, there's 4 options. Either number 1, the drought has expanded, because we did have a drought. 83% chose that. 0% says that the drought has shrunk / stayed the same. 17% says that the drought is gone, abnormally dry stays. And 0% says that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone. And so we're going to go on and, and get my prediction in right now. And if I go on and look, I go on and go to the WPC. That is not what I wanted. Let me go over the pivotal weather real quick. And we go to the observed precipitation. All the way throughout the next around 7 days, the past 7 days or so, this is how much rainfall we got. And so I'm already looking at this area down here, where we have the original drought at over here near Allendale County, over here near in Beaufort, in Colleton County, in Jasper County. I'm looking at all of these areas right here, Aiken County, Orangeburg. And I see a good amount of rainfall there, but honestly, I don't think that that's enough to take down the drought completely. And I definitely do not think that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone, so I'm already eliminating those bottom 2. And I am also looking up there in the upstate, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of precipitation up there either. So if I'm going to take a guess, I'm going to say that the drought has expanded. I'm going to be a part of the majority on this one, and be a part of the 83%. The 83% that said that the drought has expanded. So we're going to go on and get that right now. And I'm going to go on real quick, load up my audio for the drum roll. And we will go on and get that started. Get that whole release of what the drought monitor actually looked like started. And this is it. And yeah, easily an expansion. This is not even, I don't even have to go back and look because we have a new category now. D2, severe drought, is now here for Pickens County over there in Oconee County, Anderson, Northern Abbeville, and pretty much all of Greenville, Western Spartanburg. We have some new areas that have not gotten a drought yet, like over here inside of Chesterfield County, Marlborough County, Dillon County, and also something else that we probably also should mention is that there is nobody inside of the none category anymore. The none category is completely taken over. In fact, I do believe that there is indeed just everybody needs rainfall right now. Everyone definitely needs some rainfall right now. I think this is what this is telling us right here. And if I try to find the last one, this is what the last one looked like. Let me turn off my audio for that. This is what it looks like. This is what the last one looked like right here. You can definitely see, Horry County being one of those noticeable areas now in the abnormally dry. Also over here, inside of, okay, if I can get that, there we go. Also over here inside of Marion County, also one of those areas who have not gotten in really inside of it yet. Florence County as well, going inside of Clarendon County, and then also Sumter County being one of those main areas. But areas that are new, we already talked about it, Marlborough County and also Dillon County as well. A lot more of Aiken County is taken apart. Edgefield County is also being one of those areas who is new to the drought. But if we go in and look back now at the drought monitor itself, not a great update. Definitely not a great update. And if we don't see enough rainfall soon, this could potentially expand even more. But that's all I have to say here in terms of the drought. Let's go ahead and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking 4 locations. What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and give them their forecast. Because, number one, like I said, they tune in almost nightly. And number two, their area is not even the main one being talked about yet. They still show their support either way. So we start off with San Antonio first. You have low temperatures tonight at around a good 62. High temperatures tomorrow at 78. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 47. In terms of rainfall is not expected for tonight. Tomorrow, there is a slight chance of thunderstorms for tomorrow morning. Going into tomorrow afternoonish during the day. And then tomorrow night, no precipitation is expected for you at all. Now, what about severe weather, excessive rainfall? Looks like you're clear there, so no excessive rainfall, no severe weather, even though some severe weather is close for sure. You have a little fire risk that's getting kind of close, but not quite there. And then in terms of severe weather, you also have a severe weather risk that's pretty close. So I think you definitely have a chance for some strong storms maybe to occur, but I'm not looking for it to be too severe right now, but we'll look and see tomorrow what happens with it. Then, as well as we go into your future as well, I do want to go and talk about that real quick. Like I said, you're going to be in that cool down. It will cool down as you go into, especially Saturday, going into Monday, Tuesday, with high temperatures only being in near the 60s. But you'll warm back up relatively quickly. Wednesday, 70 degrees. So you'll warm back up. And then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 44, high temperatures tomorrow at 71, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 59. Precipitation not expected for tonight or tomorrow, but tomorrow night rain is likely. Excessive rainfall, severe weather. You actually do have a chance for some severe weather on Saturday, like we were talking about earlier for South Carolina. Saturday, you have a chance for some severe weather for a marginal risk. Again, probably just like a little damaging wind risk. Now, in terms of the weather for your future, as you also have no excessive rainfall. Nobody has any excessive rainfall, to be exact. It looks like right now that some rainfall, obviously, like I said, this weekend, that's going to be probably one of the main things. But in terms of your future, in terms of temperatures, you're going to cool down Sunday 59, Monday 48. Low temperatures will be near 29, 36. And then let's go in and move on to Philadelphia. Low temperatures tonight around 34. High temperatures tomorrow at 57. And low temperatures tomorrow night at 46. Precipitation not expected for tonight. Tomorrow, slight chance of showers. Tomorrow night, chance of showers as well. Severe weather and excessive rainfall not expected at this time. In terms of your future, right now it looks like that you're going to have that rain chance as well as you go into this weekend. Sunday night it's going to be breezy. It's going to cool back down. Monday high of 41. Monday night 31. So it's going to cool back down for you. And then the last location will be Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight at 37. High temperatures tomorrow at 59. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 33. Precipitation not expected. In fact, you're not going to see any precipitation for a good while, as it looks like any precipitation that does happen, it's not going to be accumulable because there is no chance of that. In terms of your temperatures for the future, it looks like you'll be trying to warm back up, but it's not really going to go anywhere. You're going to kind of be stale. Inside like the high 50s, low 60s, except for Saturday actually and Sunday, with high temperatures near 53 and 52. And that's it there in terms of the 4 areas. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S.? We also do have a question from Chattanooga, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So right now, 2 storm systems will track through the central and the eastern U.S. through this weekend with areas of gusty winds, rainfall, and heavy snow. Severe thunderstorms are forecast Friday from the central Gulf Coast into parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley, and Ohio Valley as well. Heavy to excessive rainfall is forecast from the lower 48, all the way from the Mississippi River Valley all the way to the Tennessee Valley, which may bring, obviously, flooding. Now, the main thing with this is not only, like I said, the heavy rainfall, which is why they have flood watches right now up in Tennessee, up inside of Alabama, Mississippi, and then Louisiana, but also the severe weather as well. Severe weather is also another big threat with this. As we go into, I believe, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day where we indeed have that threat for that severe weather over there. And if I can call out some areas that really need to be paying attention, areas like New Orleans, Birmingham, Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, and like all of these areas from Greenville, Mississippi, all the way over into Alexandria, Louisiana. Those areas for sure need to watch out for that severe weather tomorrow. And then other areas being Houston, Austin, Memphis, Nashville, Atlanta, Montgomery, Mobile, going all the way down to Houston. I already said Houston, but going on over into Little Rock, Arkansas, and Chattanooga is a part of that. Jackson, Tennessee is a part of that. Bowling Green and Louisville, Kentucky is a part of that. All of those areas have a chance for some isolated severe weather as you go into tomorrow. And the areas that I called out earlier, with New Orleans, Birmingham, Baton Rouge, those areas have a chance for some scattered severe storms to go. There will be, that chance for tornadoes as well, that chance for damaging winds, and that small chance of hail, but I think that damaging winds probably is the main threat. But tornadoes is right behind it, and then hail is like the littlest of the threats. And excessive rainfall as well being also a main threat with it as well. So in terms of your question for Chattanooga, yes, they definitely will see rain as you go into Friday morning going all the way through Saturday with a slight risk of excessive rainfall. So they're going to have to also watch out for some flash flooding as well. So that was the main thing, though. We still will see some snowfall down there inside of the Four Corners area. Some high wind going on over there in California, Nevada. Some fog going on all the way from South Carolina to Georgia to Florida. And then just a whole lot of stuff going on. Just a lot of stuff. Wind going on up there in the Northeast, the Midwest. We had a tornado warning over there in Illinois not too long ago. And it's just a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff going on right now. But that's pretty much all that I have to say for tonight. If you did find the forecast informative, go and hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button. Right now we had a good 17 people that have tuned in and only 6 likes so far. If you're a part of that 11 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Also, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, like I said, we're at 650 trying to get to 700. We are right now around a good 50, obviously, away from the main goal of 700 and 25 away from the quarter goal of 600, or the 3/4 of the way goal to 675. So let's go ahead and continue to get there. And then also share with your friends, family members, acquaintances, and people you might not even like. Just go on and share it with them so they can go on and get their weather as well. I will be back tomorrow morning, Friday morning forecast update. Let's just go on and get through tomorrow, and we'll be at the weekend for another time. Hit those 2 buttons before you leave. Oh, and then the top fans as well. Mr. Chris is at number 1. Maya Lula was at number 2. And then Mr. Oliver was at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk, you knocks me out off of my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk and you talk that talk, you knocks me out off my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down off of your feet. How, how.
Hey.